Hey guys, good afternoon. Today is Tuesday, April 16th. I'm adjusting my clothing. I apologize. I'll do this off camera. Um, I need to show you guys how to do the carrot. We were supposed to do the carrot a while ago, but I think sometimes I overextend myself when I'm scheduling classes and so on and so forth. And I am so sorry for that. I don't really want you to see me. I want you to see my table. I'm going to be in here anyway, it looks like. I didn't bother getting my big table out today because it's very heavy. It's kind of hard to set up. I don't have room in my craft room to keep it set up all the time. So I just pulled up my little table for now because this is actually really easy to do. This little carrot on the Dollar Tree witch hat, which is what this is very easy to do. If you don't have any witch hats left from last year, I happen to have a whole case from last Halloween. You can go to, I'll probably just post it again, but I can't remember the name of her page on YouTube. It's Sandy Cass is her name. She shows you how to make a Dollar Tree witch hat using coat hangers, plastic coat hangers. But I can find that and I can post it for you because it'll actually give you the same shape as the Dollar Tree witch hat, but you don't need this top part because we're not going to make a curved carrot. We're going to make a carrot straight. So you basically need to cut this part off. So where this line's going across the top here, okay, we're going to snip that right off with your snippers. And it's thin plastic, so it'll come off pretty easy. Very easy, I should say. So, because we don't want our carrot to be curved. It's going to be curved a tiny bit, but not as much as if we were to have this whole piece on here. So we're going to get rid of that, okay? Again, all I did was I went to the second, actually the first line is up here, the first crossbar. I went to the second one, and I just snipped that off. And we also don't need our carrot to be curved on the ends. So we're going to go up to this first crossbar on either side and snip that extra piece off as well. We don't need that. When you're doing the fall or Christmas hats, which you guys have seen for the holidays, you don't have to do that. But for the carrot, we're just snipping those extra pieces off because we don't need those. Let's get those out of here. Now, trying to get this done quick before my son gets out of work. Okay. You can use Dollar Tree orange mesh, which I had some left over from last Halloween. I had some orange. If you don't have any orange and you can't find it, go to Hobby Lobby. They have it in orange. They have the 5.5 inch. You can use that. You only use it, you're only losing like a half of an inch. It's not that big of a deal. I wouldn't use 10 inch because it's really going to make too poofy of a carrot. I also had some green left over from something that I found. Pulling these frays off here. That I'm going to be using for the stem. You'll find that sometimes when you're cutting your mesh that you get a piece that comes off of the seamed end, and you can just kind of pull that off. I did cut this with the wood burning tool just to make it a little bit easier to work with, but you don't have to do that. Now, I already made a bunch of these ahead of time. A bunch of these little bundles, okay? But what this is actually two pieces of mesh ruffled together, okay? So this piece is going to have to be thrown away because this is just like fraying like crazy. Hold on a second. I keep pulling pieces off of this and I'm looking at it and it's just like a big mess. Hold on. Here's the culprit right here. This one's doing a lot of fraying. This piece is going to have to go bye-bye. The other ones seem to be okay. Except for this piece. So I'm just going to put this aside for now, this green. I'm not quite sure how many pieces of the green I'm going to need for the stem. I don't know why So if I have to cut more, then I have to cut more. This is really frayed on the end here. I don't know why it did that. So we're going to say bye-bye to this piece too, I think. Maybe not. Let me see. You can use 10-inch for the stem, or for the leaves, I guess I should say. You don't have to use the 6-inch. All right, I'm not messing with that right now. Okay. So Hobby Lobby did have a thicker orange mesh, and it was called a wide foil. I don't know if I have any wide foil mesh here, but it was very, very thick. If you find that as opposed to the regular thinner mesh, it's going to be difficult for you to bundle up two together. So just do one. So if you find the wide foil mesh at Hobby Lobby, just do one piece per pipe cleaner. But if you have the thinner, which is what this is Dollar Tree mesh, but they have the same thing at Hobby Lobby, and you can see through it a little bit better. Just go ahead and line two pieces up together. These are 12-inch pieces of mesh, okay? Line them up as best you can. And they like to stick together, so lay them flat down so the curl side is down, okay? And we're just going to ruffle these up together. Again, I made a whole bunch ahead of time. I kind of like to curl the end under a little bit. Go slow. It doesn't matter if your pieces come apart a little bit. Don't let that freak you out. I'm just going to kind of roll the end under a little bit on the other side. So if they don't stay together on the ends, don't worry about that. Grab your pipe cleaner, put it around the middle. As you're tightening your pipe cleaner, you want to pull it up like that and then twist it so it kind of stands up. You see how it's standing up? Then you can kind of go in and you can pull them apart a little bit, fluff them out. Okay, so I did make a bunch of these ahead of time. So this is going to be the bottom of our carrot, obviously. So you're going to start by putting your first piece, whoops, your first piece is going to go around that crossbar right in the middle. You can probably get away with using half a pipe cleaner so you don't have any waste. There's a lot of waste down there. Well, like I said, I made a bunch of these ahead of time. So we've got one at the bottom. The next one, the next row, you're going to do two, okay? And see how the little nubbies are on here? See the little nubbies? You can kind of go in between these two sets of nubbies, okay? So here's your bottom piece, all right? And then you've got these two sets of nubbies. Go in between those with your next two pieces. So right across that end bar. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it and I'm going to go around these two. So I'm going to go on top of this nubby here. See the little nubby? And I'm going to go wrap it around. I'm going to do two. I'm going to wrap it around here. And the other one I'm going to wrap around these two bars. So it just gives it a little bit more stability. In between those nubbies. Because the nubbies kind of help hold it in place, so they don't slide up or down. I do not like this way this one bundle looks on the bottom. I have to fix this. I don't like the way it's laying. I'm taking that one off. Hold on a second here. Ouch. very sharp sometimes when you touch the end of your pipe cleaner, especially after it's been cut. I don't like the way this one bundle is laying. I'll grab a different bundle. So again, one's going to be on the bottom. Just putting a new bundle in here because I didn't like the way that one was positioned, or it was kind of fraying a little bit on me, so I got rid of it. I actually think I'm going to move this one down too. Oh, I'm bleeding now. Just from touching the end of that cut pipe cleaner, it made me bleed. Let me get rid of this extra. They're sharp, ladies. All discombobulated today. I'm actually going, there's the one in the bottom. I'm going to go down a little bit. I'm going to go underneath that next set of nubbies instead of on top. I want them a little bit closer together. You can see as you're doing it how to position them so you don't have any gaps at all. I mean, it's not rocket science here. You're just basically filling up your form. So again, there's one in the bottom. We're going to do two on top of it in the next row, wrapping them around the middle bar and the outside bar. I'm going to need to get a Band-Aid. Careful with your cut pipe cleaners, ladies, because they are sharp. Just twisting these together, and I'm going to cut out the excess. I think you can definitely get away with half a pipe cleaner, then you won't be having so much waste. All right. All right, so I have one on the bottom, and I have two across so far. Now, as you're going up your witch hat or your carrot form or whatever you want to call it, you have to kind of be cognizant of how you're laying your mesh because you don't want to lose the shape of your carrot. So you want it to be tapered. So, like I said, again, as you're laying your mesh, just make sure that you're laying it in a way that you're maintaining that shape of your carrot. So you may have to lay the mesh, a certain way after you get it on there to make sure that it's being tapered. If that makes any sense. I'm hoping it makes sense. So I just turned this piece around a little bit here. So one on the bottom, I've got two going across, and as we keep adding more, we're going to just keep pushing it down a little bit. So you want it kind of tight together. You don't want any gaps at all. You want it to be tight. You want your little carrot form to be, your mesh to be tight on there. So you can't see your witch hat through your mesh. All right, so let me go ahead and I'm going to make another bundle for you instead of grabbing the ones that I already made, just so you can see again. So once again, if you have the, you know what, I'm putting these on the wrong side. I guess it doesn't really matter. Instead of doing it on the raised side, I was doing it on the other side. But honestly, I don't really think it matters. Do you see how this is the, you see how it's kind of raised? And this is the part that's in more. I'm doing it on that side, but I don't really think it matters. I don't think it really matters if you lay it on the raised side or if you lay it on the other side. It doesn't really matter, but that's just how I started laying it. So again, if you have the thicker mesh, you're only going to need to roll one piece. If you feel like it's kind of hard for you to ruffle two pieces together, then don't. You're just going to have to add more mesh, because right now, like I said, I've got two pieces ruffled together, so it's making a thicker bundle. And I think I probably should start cutting my pipe cleaners in half. I don't want to waste here. Which I should have done ahead of time, but that's okay. So again, very important, as you're laying your pipe cleaner around it, pull them up. Pull your mesh up so your ruffles are facing up. All right, so now, one on the bottom, I have one row of two. We're going to do another row of two right on top of that last row of two that we did. And again, you're going to go around the outside bar and the inside one. The outside bar and the inside one. You're going to wrap your pipe cleaner around both. It just gives it a little bit of extra stability, and it's not going to slide up and down on you. So I'm finding I have enough to put half a pipe cleaner, but if it's hard for you to twist that little piece, just go ahead and use a whole pipe cleaner. It really doesn't matter. I'm going to grab one of my pre-made ones again. I made a bunch of these pre-made ones. So again, another row of two around the outside and the inside bar. And again, I started with my witch hat form kind of upside down. It's the indented part is facing down. You really should have it that way. But again, I don't think it's really going to matter. Your final product is going to look the same. It's not going to make that big of a difference. You kind of fluff them together. I cut that extra off. So right now we've got two rows of two and one on the bottom. Two rows of two bundles, and then the very first one that I put at the bottom. Okay. And we're just going to keep going up, and we're just going to keep filling it in. There's really no, you don't have to say, okay, well, I need to make sure I have 2 rows of 2 and 3 rows of 3. As long as you're keeping an eye on the shape of your carrot as you're going up and it is starting to taper, you're going to be fine. So this next one, I think I'm going to do, let me do one more bundle for you, and then I'm going to get off camera to finish it, because we're just basically doing the same thing all the way up. Now I think I'm going to do a row of 3. Let me see how this looks. I'm just folding under the end if you saw me do that, just to kind of get that cut end tucked in. Just kind of folding it in a little bit. When you're putting your pipe cleaner on, pull that mesh up and twist it, so that way your bundle is facing up. If you want to wait until you get it on the form and then kind of loosen up your ruffles. So now we're at the portion of, see these 2 rows that I did with 2 bundles, there was only one of these crossbars in the middle, okay? That's why I only did 2 rows, or 2 in each row. This next section that we're coming to, you can see that there's 2 bars in the middle, okay? 1, 2, 1, 2. So technically you do 1 in the bottom, 2 rows of 2, and then when you get to the section of the carrot where you have 2 bars in the middle, which there's 2 of these, you're going to do 3 across. So that's really the way to do it. Up here you have 3 bars across. So you're going to do 4 rows up here. So actually 1 in the bottom, 2 rows of 2, 2 rows of 3, 2 rows of 4. Again, put the outside one around the outside bar and around the inside bar, just to give it that extra stability so it doesn't slide. Push it down. So there's 1. I'm going to grab my pre-made bundles just to save a little bit of time here. Hold on one second, my son is texting me. Hold on one second. He's stopping at the store. I need him to get me some stuff. Hold on one second, ladies. That's really all right. That's really all we need. I always have to look at my list when my son's stopping at the store, so I don't, if I need stuff, I'd rather have him go than have me go back out again. All right, so there's the first one. This is a row of 3. Again, good rule of thumb, when you see the 2 bars in the middle, that's when you know you need 3, and then the 3 bars in the middle, you're going to need 4. So we have 1 in the bottom. We have 2 rows of 2, and now we're going to do 2 rows of 3. And I'm actually wrapping the second one around the 2 bars in the middle. The second one's going around the 2 bars in the middle. The first one I placed went around the 2 bars on the outside. Second one's going to go around the 2 bars in the middle. Third one's going to go around the 2 bars on the end, the middle and the end. You do really only need to have a pipe cleaner, but the ones I made ahead of time, I had already put a full pipe cleaner on it, so. I gotta get one more. So around the middle and the outside for this one. Again, just make sure as you're going up your form that you're maintaining that carrot shape. If you have to turn your bundle a certain way, maybe so it's parallel to the wreath, or to the wreath form, so it's parallel to your form and not vertical, or vertical and not parallel, just to make sure that you're maintaining that carrot shape. Because your carrot it has to be tapered or it's not going to look like a carrot. So once you get it on there, you can kind of play with it a little bit. Piece of mesh is trying to fray like crazy on me, so I'm just going to tuck that in. It's a nice thing about mesh is it likes to stick together. So if you have some pieces that are fraying, just kind of tuck them in. All right, so that's what we have so far. I have one in the bottom, 2 rows of 2, 1 row of 3. I'm going to do another row of 3. I'm going to do 2 rows of 4. Okay, and then we'll get to the top. I'm going to pause it and I will be back in a minute. If I can pause the responding.